So what do you notice about this picture, Erin?
Well, the first time I looked at it, I thought about the idea of public pedagogy, which is really, in its simplest terms, a way of teaching, right? Because pedagogy is one style of teaching. And so in this particular image, right, we're seeing a story that's being told, some kind of message, a public message, a lot of messages. We're thinking about how these particular pictures are seen as something normal that you would reasonably put into a public space where children are around, where women are around, black women, white women, and seeing themselves in some particular way, right? Or not.
You see the People magazine, you see the Cosmo, you see the ridiculousness, and then of course you see the I don't know what exactly are the name of the magazines, but you see the King magazine, like, the booty shots, somebody standing, whatever, feet 2 feet apart. You see this magazine, you always see this, like, it's just so normalized, unfortunately, on these covers and in these newsstands everywhere.
So symbolic because you notice on this side over here, you see a lot of white faces. And on this side over here, you see a lot of black booties. And would we see the reverse? Would it be acceptable if those are all white booties?
Right.
And these were all black faces?
Right.
Well, I tell you honest truth, I never sat and looked at it this way, where someone took a picture and just kind of showed it back to me. It says a lot about society. And, certainly, as I've heard the rest of you saying, that, it's not lost that it is black women that are up there. I like black women's bodies. But by the same token, to know that, they're being used that whimsically, you know what I mean? Images like these usually concern me when I think about having kids, and I think about having daughters, especially even sons too, because it's both both men and women are affected by these things.
And you're thinking about how you might not necessarily buy the magazine, but still buy into that image by saying, wow, she's gorgeous. Wow, she's sexy, right? And buying into that particular image as some kind of standard, right, of that is praise, that is prize. We're thinking about the amount of famous people. How many people you can look at here and say, I know this girl. I know something about her life. She's important in some way. Yes, she's pretty, but she's also an actress, and she also can sing really well. You know another talent, another part of their story. You know that this lady right here is a fucking princess. Okay, and she had a royal wedding.
That's right.
And she is married to the king of freaking England. Talk about history, all right? That's a history book right there. That's a different kind of magazine. That's a history book. All of these are history books. History, right? It's just stories. And these are stories that we know in depth to some particular degree because there's a depth to these people. They become human. These people over here aren't human anymore. The only person that's human on this side is Lupe. Lupe gets to be human. You know why? Because Lupe gets a freaking name. Because we know Lupe's name, and we don't know none of these girls' names. We don't know none of these girls' names. They look like animals. And he looks like the nice animal that he prays to, because he's praying to her booty over here.
He's kind of valorized and legitimized, and what he's doing, what he's trying to do, there's like hope in his eyes, there's promise, there's purpose. And then above and below, there's this kind of nameless figure. I'm not sure if they have each, maybe the top person's name is Jasmine, and perhaps his bottom, no names are being said right there, but it's just a body. It's just a body, it's just a booty. It's just a figure, it's just a thing. So, the juxtaposition of the XSL magazine with Lupe, and then the magazines above and below are also very telling. Just a great conversation of like who are the beneficiaries and the owners of these images, and who are the people who are definitely kind of capitalizing, cashing in on these images.
Yeah.
And so
I don't even think it's mostly black men who buy that. I would probably say there's as many white men who buy those magazines as black men.
Right.
Those particular magazines. But I think that because you're seeing black women on the covers, you would tend to automatically think it's black men that are buying it. But I don't. Maybe it would be a good idea to actually see the statistic, or even ask one of those shopkeepers who tends to buy those magazines most. You know.
Yeah.
I want to interview somebody who works there.
I think that would be a really good idea. And I think that's an excellent point, because I think there's two kinds of consumptions that happens here. One is a consumption on a very material level, in the sense of cash exchange, right? And so somebody is physically profiting off of this in a very real way. Like there's some kind of financial gain, benefit. And so that question of finding out who the beneficiaries are is an excellent one, because it's a part of the normalization. It's a part of why it's okay.
Will changing this one little stand do anything?
Well, I mean, it's not about that. It's about changing the conversation. It's about making this a point of conversation. Say, why aren't we talking about this? Why hasn't anybody talked about this when so many of us have walked past something like this so many times in our life? And it's changed over time because it wasn't as blatant. Right before it was kept in the back. You know, it was because it was seen as smut, right? It was seen as dirty magazines. And dirty magazines, that's an old tradition. That ain't nothing new. But there was a different kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say grace, but I kind of would, in the sense that there's a way in which these pictures could be beautiful, right? They could be. I don't think that all, it's not pornography. Right. I think there's a way in which you can take a picture of this, and that visual piece could be something that you could appreciate, right? For the beauty, because I think those bodies are beautiful. I think the skin is beautiful. I think the juiciness is beautiful.
It's also beautiful, and it should be beautiful. It should be beautiful, and I think in the right space and in the right context, it is very beautiful, very, very beautiful.
What kills me is that it becomes so saturated, right, with a layer of with a layer of pornography, which is why earlier I almost called it pornography, because there's an element to pornography that's different from erotica, right? That's an element of power, of control. Pornography, in some ways, what makes it different from erotica is that it makes a sex of act an act of power and not an act of desire.